I'm going to have a little gamsol. The gamsols make the paint much faster dry. So I'm going to just use the blue color. Right? You can mix any color you want, but mostly it's the blue color in the painting. So I'm going to use the blue. That's the top of the water. And the cloud is very interesting cloud. I'm going to have that over here. And always keep that in mind. If you were going to paint all the way to the edge, which is mostly you would do, but you prepare the 1/4 inch on the border if you're going to use the traditional frame to frame it. In that case, 1/4 inch would be blocked behind the border, right? So making sure you have that. If you leave just the gap of that important gap, just within the 1/4 inch, it won't be visible. So just keep that in mind. Unless you use the other way, like a float frame or other frame, and it will be able to see. But so I'm prepared that, remind myself that this much it will be covered. Okay. So like that, it will be covered. So you know what you're gonna get, right? So let's see. So I'm gonna put that also over here. Remind myself. Okay. Also remind you there's not going to be visible. So okay, that's good. I'm gonna have that at the top of the water. And the main part of it, I'm gonna make this rock to be bigger. And looks like this rock a little bit shy. So I'm gonna have this rock like this. Let's see. I can change that. So, and also I'm going to have a little motion on this rock. I'm going to probably have it like that. So it's going to be, this rock looks like moving this direction, right? Like a little bit more going over here, like looking to that. And I'm going to have this and coming over here, the rock on the side. That's good. Like that. This a little bit too parallel. You see that line? So I'm going to capture that line. So divide this rectangle to become two triangle. So it would be more interesting to look at. Okay, that's good. That's just the idea. To see how those things is going to relate it and tangle and relying on each other. I'm going to have this coming forward and like that. This is good. I don't have to capture everything right now. It's just right here. I'm gonna have a little red with it. Okay, here we go. Okay, like this. Here you go. That's good. And most likely I won't actually spend all the time, and it may be leave it like 80% done. And if I want, I can continue finish it later, or just keep it unfinished. Okay. And coming over here. Like that. So it maybe have a couple things over here. That's it. So I may not really do too much on this side. So keep it loose, keep it open, keep it interest. Don't try to make it look fully finished at the beginning. So okay, so the water, it will be the water coming over here on the tip over here, coming up like that. And it looks like I need a little bit more space in the top. So let's see. I'm gonna move my to this side. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna take a look at. Maybe I'm gonna cut this a little bit more, like that. So this rock, I have a little bit more movement going to that direction. So the beach over here, like that, the water, and coming up, and see that this wave over here, and then coming over here, there's the white coming over here. That's good. And there's I have a little bit shadow, and there's just the shadow over here too. Okay, coming all the way onto this side, Okay, now just making it very intentional, and have some of the shape coming here, and there's another wave in the back. Okay, another wave over here, and then I have a little bit white shape like that coming over. That's good. So the top of the water is still here. Okay, that's good. And the sky and it's become secondary. The rock would be the focal point. Okay, now I'm looking at this. I may going to add a figure in here. Okay, a figure, maybe a white figure somehow, and with a long skirt, maybe. You know, I know some of you will say that don't change it. It's just you leave it the way it is. Or maybe I do. Maybe I just leave it the way it is. Okay, so this rock a lot more powerful, and those would become like serving the floating. So I want you to feel the music in there, in the painting. Okay, now all right, let's start set up the big shape. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the fan brush. Okay, the fan brush is much easier to spread the paint, not let it get too thick. So what I'm going to first do, I'm going to mix there a little bit, what I said? Well, just use any brush like that. If I don't have a fan brush, I will use this. That will be fine. The fan brush, that's much bigger. The fan brush, you can get a fan brush everywhere. Don't pay too much money for a fan brush, because it would just lose the hair very quick if you use the regular canvas, because it's so textured, so rough. And this fan brush probably like a few dollars per. This is very small. I don't use the big one. I use the big one when I use the big large canvas. But this canvas is only 9 by 12, so I don't use the bigger one. Okay. Okay. I get the yellow. Look at the sky. It looks like orange brown color, right? So just these two colors start with. Ooh, too much red. So I'm gonna spread this color. I maybe use it. I don't have much orange in the painting except the sky, so I'm gonna let go. So I don't want to take away too much of the mixing area. That's good. Just let some go, and then I'm thinking about need to get a little bit blue color, because we only used this consistent, only the 3 color, right? And the idea of color, the color theory, color system is very much the same as watercolor, as well as any other. So I'm going to take the white, and here you go. Now mix this 3 color together, and you can test it. Take a look at. Okay, on here, it's more like a gray color. So I have a little bit more red in here. That's the gray color. You see, this gray color would be very good. Put it here. Can you see that? That's very much that color. It may not. It may be need to have a little bit more other color. But at the beginning, just put it a little bit softer, lighter, like that, and get a little bit closer and closer to this side. I need to have a little bit more orange because warmer, right? You can see that warmer. I'm gonna have a little bit more white mixed to it. When you mix with the white paint, it automatically make the color a little bit more. Less intense, a little bit more of their grade into it. Okay, this is good. And let's see, get a little bit, because the canvas here already have some blue, so I don't mix the blue. I just mix that with this. That a little bit more orange mix into it. This is fine, like that. So I would make the like over here have a little bit more red into it, because there's too much blue. I want it to be a little bit gray. Just mix it a little red and it become a little bit gray, right? A simple thing. And it's because I remain the the base layer of paint to be thin. So it's very easy for me to apply thicker paint later on in the same section. Okay, if you leave it for tomorrow, it doesn't really matter. You can't just paint as thick as you want. But if you have a thick color and it's also so like a puddles in the middle of your canvas, it's going to be very trouble for you to apply wet paint later on. I'm going to have a little red in here because there's too much blue underneath. All right, so this is the base color. Right, I'm gonna keep using this, and I have a little bit more orange color on the top. So I'm gonna have just a little bit orange color, very much the same color as what you have on the top. So this is the base color, and I have it like that. And I will have a little bit darker color, the blue color, a little bit later. So I'm gonna even soften this and let that go. And see. And you're not looking for preciseness at the beginning. Okay, it's just applied to the whole area. So you're not worried much about, oh, I can't control the fan brush for details. You're not do the details, right? So I'm gonna have a little bit darker color, but careful. The sky is far away, so make sure that you're not putting too heavy color, which is talk about the value, the heaviness, too much to the sky. Just tap a little bit color. That's it. There's a little bit blue over here, so I'm gonna have just a little bit blue. Okay, here you go, like that. That's good enough. And we're gonna see after we apply the color to the wave, to the ocean, and you're gonna see that is that how you're gonna change it. So I'm gonna clean the brush right now. Down over here, mostly blue. Okay, and I'm gonna clean the brush. I don't want much orange color. Now I'm gonna just have this a little blue, but a little careful when you paint the top over there. I know it's just dark, but I don't want it to be so clear. So I'm gonna have this blue color. Let's test it to see how it go. And I'm gonna have this. It's already popped too much. And when they go a little bit closer, I'm gonna have a little red. Okay, right in the middle over here, a little red, and go all the way over here. Making sure it's horizontal. Spend a little time looking at it. Okay, so I can. Well, whatever color you're applying to the canvas now, you should not worry too much about, is that the color? Okay. The first thing you have to do, whatever painting, even in watercolor painting, you have to cover the entire canvas as quick as you can so that you can make judgment. Because right now you cannot make judgment. Whatever color you put in here, it may not be the right color, because the color is in comparison to other colors. And you cannot judging on the color on one color alone. You're actually judging the color with all other color in place together. I'm gonna have this a little bit like that. And just right now, just put something on and thin and quick, and as quick as you can. And don't try to finish one area and then before you move other area. So, okay, can someone say something? What you have in mind? Okay, I'm gonna have a little bit blue, and actually, if I can have a little bit red shade blue color. You see that? Could be a little red shade blue color right here, like that. Okay, that's good. And then change back to the green shade. You see this? Just quickly cover, because this is actually shadow, right? This is the shadow. The top has some light. Okay, like that. And one of the disadvantages by using acrylics, because it would dry unless you use retarder medium or other medium to keep it wet a little bit longer. But it would dry in a matter of 10 minutes or 5 minutes even, or very soon. So that means you cannot, that's a little bit, I'm going to come change it wet into wet later. You cannot do that. It's just the medium disadvantage. So most of the people actually paint acrylic, they paint it flat because they cannot come back to make much changes. Okay, this is good. And the front over here, I'm also going to just touch a little color. But I'm going to leave some white on the canvas. So I would come back to add details later. Okay, here we go. Like that. Very soft. And a little bit over here. All right. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to apply. So I'm not going to use fan brush. I'm going to use the number 6 fiber shape. So now I'm going to mix the brown color. Mostly is the brown, and get the blue. And there's two colors together, so almost brown, right? So I'm going to have a little bit blue, like that. And if you get a little yellow, it would be more brown. Okay, so these two color mixed together is almost the color you need. So now let's take a look. And you can change your mind, because as oil painting this is a great deal that you can layer over layer, and you can scratch it off if you have a very thick paint. You can continue in changing and playing with the ideas. Okay, you see this is very dark. I'm going to have a little gamsol. It would expect it to be dry really quick as the first layer. Like that. I'm not going to use white too early. Okay, that's good. This is called blocking in this space. Okay. And over here too. And also it's important that when you paint, don't fully cover the under layer. Okay, let the under layer showing through. Okay, like this. So this is only the first underpainting. Okay, here you go. Okay, when you have the gamsol, it will dry instantly. Like that. Here you go. Some a little bit more blue. Add a little bit more blue. Okay, you see how I'm holding the brush? Just let it relax. Okay, don't have it uptight. And this would be suggesting, also reminding us when we painting, keep their whole painting in your mind, not a particular area. You just keep moving in and relax, and just put the color in, and you see how they related. I'm going to have a little bit darker over here. Okay, I'm going to have a little bit on this side, leave a little gap, but just a little gap. Okay, like this. Keep that in mind. There's also a part of it that's going to block. Okay, that's good. Okay, get the gamsol. Continue. Look before you make the decision. Okay, that's good. You can see when you get up close to looking at some of the old painting, especially the one that is not fully finished, you can see actually there's not much paint. It's just the canvas. So keep it a little bit. Now at this point, you can see that the whole canvas is already covered. So I'm going to add a little bit lighter shape to it, to the rocks. So I'm gonna have that that a little bit red into it. That's too much. So I'm gonna just have a little bit. I'm gonna put some color. Because see that the bottom is still wet. So whatever you put in here is gonna mix into the color that you are putting in. That is not interesting. Okay. And put a little color here. And I'm gonna put a little bit more white. Yeah, I'm gonna just put it a little bit color right here, like that. Okay, put a little color, separate it, and put a little shape. And on this side, I'm gonna have a little bit blue. I'm gonna just have a little bit blue. Keep it rough, like that. Just like this. And I'm gonna have a little bit lighter. The sunlight is orange. So I'm gonna have a little bit yellow and red mixed with the white, and just put a little light over here, like that. And I have a little bit light, turn the brush on the other side, like that, and some light color on the top. Okay, here you go, a little bit light color right here and over here, and there's a little light color. Okay, and we're gonna continue to develop it a little bit more. So you see a little bit light color, just put it on just for now, roughly, so that we will be able to see the whole painting composition. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna have that. Okay, a little bit lighter. There you go, a little bit lighter, like that. That's good. All right, now I'm gonna have a little bit darker color. I'm gonna clean my brush. I like to use less brushes in my toolbox, and I'm gonna have a little bit darker. Now I'm not gonna use Gamsol, just use the red and the blue for the deep color. So when it's closer to us, it's always have more contrast. So it's a darker color over here. I'm gonna just put the dark color here, like that. Just put the brush stroke. Here you go, like that. And then those old paint is gonna dry quick because you use Gamsol. Gamsol always bring out the wet really quickly. Okay, like that. So we have more thing to do. And I'm gonna have a little bit dark color over here. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna have a little bit darker color over here. That's the shadow. Okay, that's good. And a little bit dark color over here, some gap. There we go. That's a little dark color over here too. Okay. So because the color thin, it's very easy to add color, change color, modify color. Okay, that's good. A little bit dark color over here, and there's a little bit dark color over here. A little dark color over here too. Keep some texture, and there's a little bit dark color over here. Get a little bit red right over here. That's good. And there's a little bit dark color over there. Now, overall, the color is already there. Now I'm going to come back with, in a bit over here, it has a little bit dark color, so mostly it's blue, but it's not bright blue color, so you need to have a little red into it. So I'm going to try this color, and let's see the color coming in over here. I'm going to have some light shape on the top. Here you go, that's good. Like that. Now the color is still thin. Coming over here and coming down. A little bit gradient. Okay, that's good. And coming here a little bit higher. A little bit softer, and we can add the light on the top. That will be fine, like that. And that's Also a little bit more like a gray blue color. Have a little gap. Okay, getting there. Give it a little bit more weight, a little bit heaviness to the water. So I'm gonna over here too. There you go. Okay, this is still the early of the painting, so don't try make it too thick. Okay, here you go. Okay, that's good. Just apply the underpainting, the undercolor. Okay, here you go. Some detail over here. And look at that. That's a little bit darker. Okay. Usually you're painting a little bit more darker color first. And later you're going to add more and more white, lighter color. Okay, a little bit dark color. It's going to uncover. And also over here. Now, the shape is already there. Now I'm going to have this color also putting on the top over here. This color is not very bright. So I'm going to put it here. And I'm going to have a little bit orange color. A little bit sparkling from reflection of the sun. Now you can see that this is not really that sharp, right? This is important. You don't want to make it too sharp because we want the attention more at the front, not in the background. Okay, here we go. I make sure this is horizontal. Okay, here you go. A little bit more higher. That's good. There you go. That's good. All right. That's good. Now this is the under layer. Now from here on, it's going to be quick. Okay, now I'm going to have a little bit blue. Looks like there's too much red. So I'm going to come back to adjust the color. You see that? When you have all the color together and you can adjust it. And you want to keep the whole painting in your mind as you progress from big shape, rough, to more and more defined, but they need to be progress on the same pace as everything else. You don't want to just doing one little thing, and because you don't even know what color that or what value that thing is supposed to, and you need to be all together working through. Okay, and this is need to be lighter. Yeah, I'm gonna clean my brush, and I'm gonna adding the sky color. The sky is from a blue on the left hand side to the right side, almost just like white. Like that's good. And then this going to be getting more and more thicker and thicker. And from here on, I'm not going to use Gamsol. I'm going to use the Gamsol to wash the brush, but I would wipe off all the Gamsol. I'm going to now get the white mixed with the green shade blue color, which is the present blue I have. Okay, this. I'm going to try it, whether or not that's right. Ooh, that's pretty good. And squint your eyes so you can compare. Okay, here you go. And coming in. And a little bit thicker, like that. And the top over here, a little bit in. And I'm gonna make sure the top have enough. So otherwise it would just go into cover by the frame. So I'm gonna have it a little bit lower. So because this is wet into wet, right? The whole painting process. So if you not have enough paint, the color on the canvas, it will mix in and change the color that you intend to paint it in. Now when you get over here, you're going to start having a little bit more white. Now I'm going to get a little bit white over here. Also the color a little bit thicker. You see the paint got a little bit thicker and thicker. Okay, that's good. like that, and this cloud get to the top, and we're gonna have a little bit more, a little bit gap over here. That's good. A little gap coming in, and a little gap over here, and then a little gap over here. Here you go, like that. And then coming over here, and also used a little bit more white. And I'm gonna have that the gap over here. I'm gonna rewide the little gap. Here you go, like that. And then come here. Okay, now get a little bit more white. And first have this color in here. Make it a little bit softer like that. And this is good, right? And so far, I'm gonna have more white. And the sun just right in this area. I'm gonna have a little bit lighter. And the cloud is not finished yet. It just, but it looks almost there, right? So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have this color look like that. Have a little bit blue mixed into this. Have a little bit red. And what I'm doing is just see a little bit lighter shape at the top of the cloud, like over here. I'm gonna have that. Doesn't need to be very thick, okay? Also the cloud, if you have too thick, also see it as a texture, and it will calling for attention to the cloud. And you don't want that much attention in the cloud. I'm gonna have a little bit more red. So the cloud, try to make it a little bit thinner, okay, like that. And the top over here, that's good. Like that, and have a little bit shape. Okay, a little bit shape like that. And a little bit shape like that. Not too much blue, so here you go. And have a little bit lighter shape, but a little bit more like a warmer color. So here you go, like that. Seeing that's the top of the cloud. So here, have a little bit more orange color. And here you go, a little bit more orange at the top of this. And the same thing over here, a little bit more orange. Now the cloud is at the top look more as dimension, okay, a little bit three-dimensional. Okay, here you go. I have a little bit more over here, a little bit more loose cloud. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna have a little bit more, and soon enough, you see that we could develop it like in the step of one layer at a time. The layer was a bigger shape, smaller shape, and smaller shape, and adjustment. Okay, here you go, like that. And have a little shape over here. I'm gonna have a little bit more orange. This, just take the red and the yellow. Okay, here we go. A little bit more red. So it's all between the three colors. There's no other color we use. Like this. And have a little bit lighter shape. There you go. That's good enough. And have some shape over here, some shape, and a little bit lighter, also a little bit darker, like that. And have this going through the top over here, and seeing those color, very soft cloud. Okay, that's good. Now the cloud is almost there. And we need to make the bottom just a little bit, a little bit darker. So it's closer to the value of the water. And also make this a little bit gray. And before I do that, I'm going to have just a little bit darker for the shadow of this cloud. Okay, a little bit over here. And there's a little bit cloud. Oh, what is it? What is that? Who's saying that? Who is saying that? Oh, who's that? Is that Sarah there? Okay. Gonna hit the little red. Get some yellow. Now, in the area facing to the sun, it's just a little bit more brighter. Okay, so orange is a very bright color. Okay, a little bit more brighter on the top. Okay, that's good. That, and give a little bit texture over here. Like that, just tap on it. And that's good. A little bit color over here. All right, I think that pretty good. I'm gonna have the bottom over here a little bit more gray. The gray color, and you can see that's as close to gray, but it's not just gray. I'm gonna have a little bit more red. Now a little bit warmer. That's just good. And this color plus the white, I have quite a bit of white over here. Mix into it. That would be more gray, right? So I'm gonna take a look. So think about the gray is more blue, more red, right? So I'm gonna take a look at over here. And that's maybe too much red. Need to get some yellow. Okay, here we go. Some little yellow. And maybe a little bit more white. Okay, let's take a look. And that is about it. A little bit more red. That's good. Now I'm gonna put that in here. See that after you have this color, create a contrast. The top, it look lighter. Okay. Right, that's good. Now more and more toward the left side and a little bit darker. So I'm gonna adding more red and the blue color into it. Like that. And that's good. This side have a lot more blue. And actually a little bit red shade blue color. It's a little bit more red shade. Okay, here you go. I'm gonna take a look. Yeah, maybe a little bit orange. Okay, here we go. There you go, like that. Now I'm gonna have this coming up a little bit. Break that light. Okay. All right, getting there. Now getting to this side, have a little bit lighter, a little bit orange color. Now I'm gonna have a little bit yellow, a little bit red. And actually I can just put this color in here to see how it look. And it's a little bit too bright. So I got to have a little bit white mix into it. A little bit more blue as well. Here you go. You can have a little bit darker. A little bit warmer. Here you go. Now because you already have all the color and the painting, so that you can see the color a little bit more accurate to the way you want it. Okay. And the top over there, I'm not sure I'm going to make that too dark here, or maybe just make it a little bit soft. And I can have this a little bit soft. Okay, like that. I think the sky is getting something interesting. I'm gonna have it here. I'm gonna have that a little bit darker. Get a little bit darker. Get a little bit red in here. Okay, a little bit gray. I'm gonna have this a little bit tail off. A little cloud over here. Like that. Have something over there. Look like that's good. And all right, we can come back to do more, and we can have a little bit lighter shape if we want to, or maybe just to keep it a little bit soft. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna coming down to here. This is good. There's a little bit soft on the edge. It's good. And I'm gonna have come back. I have a little bit like an orange brown dots on the top, like a sparkling light. That will be good. I'll keep the edge a little bit softer. So don't want to have it too sharp. Okay, like that. Now I'm going to start adding some of the shape. This dark color already there. Already have the dark color there. And now in the water over here, what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to have that little bit blue. I'm going to mix that a little bit blue that. So mostly it's this green shade blue color. It's interesting. And a little bit green shade blue color. And add a little bit red shade to see how it look. Okay. A little bit green. And just the white and the blue color. And I'm not sure how dark it's supposed to. So I'm going to take a look at right here. And this is good. I think that's the right value. Like that. They have that shape in here. I don't want that stand out too much. But I don't want it to be missed. Okay, here you go. This, and coming up this side a little bit lighter. So have a little bit more blue. Gonna get a little bit more blue. Seeing this, it's just the under layers already dry, close to dry, and then it will be very easy to apply the new color. Okay, here you go. A little bit more blue, so you see the form. There's a little bit more blue over here. Okay. So have a little bit lighter right on the top here. That's good, like that. Okay, that's a little bit too light. I'm gonna come over here a little light, like that. So that's a one shape. Now I'm gonna coming over here and see that's a shape over here. It's almost like the same color. Okay, there's some splash paint, splash up the wave. That is going to be after I finish the reflection light on the top. Okay, this is good. All right, this side, I'm gonna have a little bit lighter. As any colors that are facing to the sun, it will look a little bit warmer. Okay, and I'm gonna take a look over here. Like that. Okay, here you go. A little wave like that coming over. Okay. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna have a little bit color like this right there and see the separation. So it's always from a little bit bigger shape to smaller shape. So I'm gonna have a little red, otherwise it look too much green. Here we go. Gonna have a little bit more white. Okay, here we go. Now take a look at this color coming all the way here, right? And then coming onto this side. Now seeing this is this plane, and actually reflected the color, reflected the light like that. And I'm gonna actually take care of the detail a little bit later. I'm gonna try to making this look. Now it's the plane and facing to the light, and this is gonna be blue. I'm gonna take care of that later. And the top over here also have a little bit light, but this is gonna be lighter and brighter. Okay, here you go. Like that. Okay. Now get a little bit better. Now let's not spend all the time in that yet. We're gonna gradually coming down and then go back to the top. So first, at this point, almost the same color, just a little bit gray, almost the same color, but this is not white. You see those color over here, the blue is not white. It's still in the shadow, right? Similar to that color. Okay, like that. Okay, here you go. Now I'm gonna apply the color for the form. Okay, here you go. See, that is good. Like that. Coming over here. Okay. And to see how much you can do, just fill in the form over here. And like that. And we can come back to add the dark shape, the darker shape later if we need to. Okay, and here you go. You can see that has the form, the detail over here. Okay, and keep a little thin at this point, and we can add the last layer a little bit thicker. Okay, here you go, coming over here like that. And actually, it's just pretty easy. What oil painting is, it's not hard. It's just you're okay with this process and have enough patience. Okay, that's good. And over here, I can also add the lighter shape. Okay, here you go. That, here you go. That's good. There's some bigger shape over here. Okay, here you go. I'm gonna cover the top over here. And now this whole area is light up because of the form that you add to it. Okay, here you go. I'm gonna have this shape coming here like that. Here you go, a little bit more clear shape. And a little bit shape. There you go. Like that. And this connect to the top. That's good. Have a little bit. That's good. We can refine this a little bit later. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna have some shape over here. This blue color a little bit brighter. So I'm gonna clean my brush and making sure I have the color a little bit brighter. Okay. Then we're just gonna get the Prussian blue. Get the fresh white paint. Here you go. It will be brighter right here. Okay, you see how I use the way to use the brush and just put it on the top, create a texture. I'm gonna have a lot more texture later. Okay, here you go. I'm gonna have the paint, the water splash up. And I'm coming down over here, it has a lighter. I see the layer. I'm gonna have a little bit lighter. Okay, here you go. A little bit lighter. And also, oil painting, the brush stroke is very, very critical and important. So see how you move the brush stroke, you need to think about it. Okay, am I going to lay out the brush stroke this way or that way to get the maximum expression? Okay, that's good. I'm going to put that right, cut it down. Okay, here you go. Now this rock is a lot more clear. Okay, coming in here, just one brush stroke like that, coming in here. That's good. Like that is good. All right. Right, that's just create the different dimension. So I'm gonna have even lighter, more white. Okay, here you go. That's good. That's good. Now the thicker paint applied. Okay, a little bit lighter shape over here. A little bit lighter side. Okay, coming here. Now start applying the paint. That's good. And coming down over here a little bit more. And look at that brush stroke. I'm going to keep it right there. That's beautiful. And I'm going to have this a little bit lighter. I need more white. Okay, here we go. When I have that, just brushed the paint like that. That's good. Okay, a little pink over here. And this, the front over here, have a little bit lighter. Okay, have the little lighter form. Now I'm gonna have it here. Squeeze the pink. Okay. And I know some of you using left hand. It's a left-handy. So you can think about how I'm gonna hold my brush for the best effect. Okay, here you go. Think about it before you do it. Okay, that's good. And that's a little bit lighter. And I'm gonna see it, the brush stroke. That's area a little bit lighter. You see that one brush stroke. Very effective, right? You're choking. Okay, here you go. Here you go. Seeing the light over here? That's good. I'm gonna have a little bit more white. And here you go, the top over here. Seeing this shape. And nice. And a little big shape. Okay, now I'm gonna have this blend in a little bit. Yeah, this is good. And have a little bit those sparkle that already look like the wave. Okay, here this area have a little bit lighter because this is actually facing to the sun. I'm gonna have a little bit over there. Okay, connected down over here like that. That's connecting. I'm gonna have, this is good. And the top over here, I'm gonna just add a little bit. I would finish the last soft connection later. Okay, a little bit over here on the top, a little bit later, like that. That's good. And over here, I have a little bit light to separate the two sides of the wave. Okay, getting there. Now I'm gonna have this a little bit lighter. There you go, like that. That's good. Okay, I can modify the color further. And I'm gonna have a little bit more darker blue color. You're seeing this area not as light as other. This a little bit softer. I'm gonna have the wave coming up like that. And see that. Consider this is already in the background. So you don't need to actually make this to be very clear. And you can keep a little bit softer. That's okay. And I have this weight coming like this. Analyze the shape. All we do is painting the shape, the color, the value, right? Like this. Okay, coming over here. Now I'm gonna have, I could use a smaller brush. Let's just step on it for now. Okay, now this whole area in the middle is already look lighter because we apply some lighter shape. Now I'm gonna also, since we already have the blue color, but this blue is a little bit warmer and a little bit warmer right here. So I'm gonna use a little thicker paint. Why? Because I need to cover some of the shape over here. I'm gonna cover that. That's good. I'm gonna have a little bit more blue. And inside over here, I'm gonna have even thicker. A little bit thicker, but a little bit more red. That's good. Here we go. I'm gonna have a little bit pink, like that. Get a little bit more blue in it, that close to the right. Yes. Now I'm gonna have this color. See that? That's very expressive. If you think about it, every stroke before you do it, think about it. What's the final effect it will look like? What kind of stroke? What kind of brush I'm using? What kind of the movement I need to use? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna have a little bit blue and just put that right here. That's good. Look at that. That's pretty good. And now close together, I'm going to have a little bit more blue. Now right at the bottom over here, a little bit more blue. See that? This is how you can do one brush stroke and to take care of a thing. And on this side, a little bit lighter. Now here we go. A little bit lighter, like that. That's good. Actually, the top a little bit darker blue, and the bottom a little bit lighter. That's good. And have this coming over, and we're gonna need to have a little bit more rock over there. Okay, take a look in the middle over here. We're gonna have a little bit shape, a little bit light shape. If you use the same color, it will convey the consistency of, oh, what is that? That's just the water. Okay. Okay, that's good. Over here, that's the water. Now, here have a little bit more blue. And I'm gonna have a little bit orange color because of the reflection of the sky. Push that in. Put this color on first, like that. That's good. And I'm gonna have a little bit blue. Yes, take a look at here. There's a little bit blue in here, and coming out one brush stroke. See that? That's good. And that's good. Have a little bit. We can have a little bit lighter color, lighter small detail, a little bit later. Now over here, have a little bit more blue. See in the gap over here? And step by step, you can get to the destination. As long as you know where you're going. Right, that's good. That's good. And over here in the middle, in the front over here, a little bit later. Okay, you don't have to do what is showing you. You can change it. Okay, I'm gonna have a little bit blue going through this side. I'm gonna have a little bit blue over here. Now, a little color over here, like that. And here you go. Now, here we go. I'm gonna have more white. Okay. Here we go. That's good. Okay. Like that. Okay. Now I have enough color at the front over here. Now the next thing I'm going to apply the color reflected to the sky. So I'm gonna have clean the brush a little bit. My brush have too much blue, so I don't need that much blue. And I'm gonna just have this color. Look at this color. It's very similar to what we need. And it may be a little bit red. Too much yellow. Okay, this is good. A little bit more red. You see, just think about the three colors and how you use the three color to mix the color you need. And if you know how to do it with watercolor, you will know how to do it with the oil. Okay, here you go, like that. Here you go. I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna have a little bit more red, a little bit more white. Here you go, like that. That's good. That's good. Just put it on. And over here also I'm gonna have a little bit over here too. Okay, a little bit on, a little bit more on here. Okay, that's good. And also have a little bit lighter. Okay, a little bit lighter, more white. Okay, now put it here. This also getting the same reflection. Okay, a little bit more over here. Okay, here you go. Now you're getting the same impression. I'm going to have a little bit color over here too, like that. And also the top over here, a little bit of this color. Okay, that's good. That's a little bit thicker. Okay, that's good. And looks nice. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, and actually, I'm going to use the same color over here. That's very important to have it here. That's also facing to the sun. Okay, here you go, like that. And a little bit like that, facing to the sun. Okay, a little bit. And this a little bit connected. That's good. Okay, a little bit over here. All right, that's good. Now I'm gonna also going to disconnect this, because this blue color, I'm gonna have this showing. This is not facing. This is actually against to it. Okay, here you go. Now I'm gonna have this showing the shape. Okay, here you go, like that. Okay, very nice. Now I'm going to come back here to create. This is what I talk about often, that use the texture paint, thicker paint, and I'm not going to cover the original, the underpainting. So I'm going to use this a little bit more blue. Look at that, is maybe too much blue. So like this, I'm gonna have a little bit more white. This, like a little bit thicker. Now this is good. Like this is great, but a little bit more bluish. So now I'm gonna take a look at here. Dry brush. Can you see that? Keep the underpainting. And I can have that little bit color over there coming up, but that's the under layer. It's very important. Keep that. That's good. Okay, and coming over here, also couple layer. That's good. And top over there, I'm gonna have a little bit thicker paint. The top over here, I'm gonna make that a little bit more clear. Like that. That's good. Now I have a lot more thing to look at. I'm gonna have just a little bit more red. Coming back over here. Here you go. Now. Here you go. Now, that's the small shape inside the shadow. Here you go, like this. And I'm going to actually make a little dark color in here to separate, because that is from the light. Okay, like that. That's good. That's good. Okay, still some light color. Still, I'm going to just use the blue and the red together. Okay, here we go. That's that color. That's good. That's good. Here you go. That. Now I'm going to adding some dark shape together. And have a little bit thick, a little bit sharper. I'll come back to reform that a little bit more. So don't spend all the time onto one area. So I'm gonna have a little bit blue. Actually, have a little bit blue in here. Now, here you go, a little bit shape. That's make a little dark color. Now you got a little bit texture here. And it's time to use a different brush. So I'm gonna have that smaller brush, and I'm gonna come back here to use a darker color. So my brush have enough dark color. So I'm gonna take the blue with the red together. Usually dark color, you don't want it to be too thick. That keep it. I'm gonna coming over here. Here we go. Now I'm gonna have the light color even thicker after. Okay, here you go. See that? Here you go. Like that. That's good. Okay, if you already got the paint, the light paint on the brush, you want to make sure you clear it out before you going back to. Okay, like this. Good. A little bit dark color there, and the bottom over here a little bit darker color. Okay, here you go. Nice shape, nice. Okay, here you go. And we're gonna apply the highlight, and it will be good. And a little darker color shape again, and here you go. Now over here. Okay, here you go. That's good. Now this rock has a lots of content. A moment ago it's still flat. Right, that's good. Over here, a little bit more clear on the edge. That's good. I'm gonna have this over here a little bit darker, and we come back to give it a little bit more clear, lighter shape later. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna have this a little bit thick color, putting that up down over there. Okay, coming back over here. That's good. I'm gonna have this a little bit darker color and blocking out that. That's okay. And come back over here one more time, a little bit more clear. And we have this shape. Okay, that's good. Now define the shape. Define the interesting shape. Like that. Okay, and the top over here. That's good. Now, look at that. That's coming here. Now, just move, remove. And if you don't want a color, carry on to the palette. You need to make sure you clean the brush. So now I'm going to come in here to have a little bit small dark shape. Like that. A little bit small dark shape. That's fine. Okay, getting there. You see the painting come along like just layer over layer of paint. Now I'm going to come in over here. Now I'm going to create the foundation, and for the thicker paint and thicker texture later on, which is coming next. Okay, I'm going to have that. Take a look at here. Push it down. And this coming over. That's good. And on this side, and take a look at right here. And we need a little bit darker color right in the top over here. And take a look at this. I'm gonna have this. That's the shape connected. Okay, a little bit more red. Like that. That's good. And by the way, when you're doing oil painting, don't get trapped into pursuing the realistic, but more focusing on the contrast, focusing more on their rhythm and how the shape connected. And you need to focus on the whole painting instead of a portion of the painting. Okay, here you go. Get a little big shape over here, and a little big shape darker over here. Just prepare that. That's good. Okay, that's good. And I'm gonna have this very dark color right here. That's good. Now we just missed there. We still need to looking for the texture on the top, but without the darker color underneath the light color texture, it won't show. It won't pop. Okay, now I'm gonna have a little bit brown color. Says don't mix that. This is too much white. So I'm gonna mix these two colors together, the yellow and the red. And my brush already have the blue, so you don't need to take the blue. And now here we go. Now this is very dark brown color. Okay, here we go. I'm just dry brush on this, and that's the brown color. That's the brown color. Let's just put it on, and that's almost like just red. Right, a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more, and I'm gonna have that the lighter color on the top of that. It would be great. Over here, that little bit over here. That's good. Okay, take a look at right on this side. This is good, and have a little light shape on the top, and here you go. That's good. Good enough. I'm gonna have a little bit more blue. Here you go. That's good. There you go. That's good. Get smaller and smaller area. That's good. I'm gonna have a little bit darker on this side. That's good. Here we go. Like that. Very nice. Alright, getting there. Okay. Now we're gonna come into add the thick color. So the thick color, I'm gonna still use this small brush. I need to use a different paper towel first. It's too dirty. Alright, now I'm gonna come in, take a look. The light color, very consistent, because coming from the same light source. So it would be the same color. So I'm gonna have the yellow, and this almost the color I need. Okay, this almost the color I need. Just a little bit more orange color. Get the, this is good. This color is the old color, very thick. Okay, that's good. Get a little bit red. That's good. Too much red. I'm gonna have a little bit more white. Look at this. This is good. Now let's see. Now very thick. Now take a look at the top over here. You see which side of the brush, what here you're gonna touch. That's important. See that? Like that. Is that very interesting? Okay. Just think how you will lay the brush. Okay, like that. That's good. Now we have this a little bit longer. Like that. That's good. Also a little bit on the edge. That so interesting. Now I'm gonna coming over here. That's good. Like that. That's good. We can add a little bit dark color back into it. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the top over here. This color, I have a little bit more blue as well. That's good. Let's take a look. That's important. Very important. Now, here you go. Now this is the light shape. Keep the texture. Okay. Here you go. Like that. You see that added the texture will look very different. Okay. A little big shape over here. And take a look on this rock. Okay, here you go. That's good. And slowly, I'm gonna get a little bit brown. Okay, here we go. And keep the dry texture. Like this. Okay. Keep the edge. I'm gonna have the edge a little bit more clear. That's good. And I'm gonna have this side brush like this. So I have a little bit more extension, like just dry on it. And I'm gonna have this brush dry this way. And I'm gonna come back with a little bit darker color, but right now I don't want to waste the paint on the brush. Okay, here you go. Now I have a little bit edge. That's good. And a little bit dry brush. I'm gonna just touch it on the surface. Okay, right here. That's very important. Gonna see that? Dry brush like this. Just use the side of the brush, touching on it. Okay. That's good. Now, little by little, it would look like the painting in your mind. Okay, that's good. And this a little bit thicker. Okay, here we go. A little bit thicker. Alright, that's good. Like that, that's good. A little bit thicker. And here you go. That's when it's just simply just touching on the surface. Because I'm using canvas, the canvas panel, it have quite pronounced texture. That's good on this side. Here you go. A little bit. Use different side of the brush. Okay, now reload the paint. Coming over here, I'm gonna have that a little bit more clear. Like this. That's good. And maybe need to come back, create more contrast by having some darker color. Okay, here we go. Like that. Here you go. That's good. Have a little bit light shape on the side. And I'm gonna have some little bit lighter, have a little bit more blue. And here you go. A little bit more like that, a little bit darker. Okay, now I'm gonna have this. You see, this a little bit lighter shape. Okay, a little bit darker shape, like that. That's good. And a little bit darker shape. Okay, here you go. And have some light shape. Now I'm gonna have a little bit lighter shape with the blue. Okay, here you go. Lighter shape with the blue. Okay, there you go, like this. Okay, pretty good. And a little bit smaller shape, which is the cool color, and the reflection light. Okay, I'm gonna have that a little bit more like this, and that's the reflection from the water. And maybe too light. In that case, you have to adjust the color. I can maybe make it less bright. Okay, like that. That's good. That's good. Okay, now come back over here. Now I'm gonna have a little bit mid-tone, but also texture. That's good. And over here, just don't lose the dark value underneath. Okay, keep that. It create the impression of rocks. So this doesn't look like this is like it's fighting. So I'm gonna change the color a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna have this color. Even now, make it very much thicker. Okay, here you go, like that. Much thicker. And here you go, a little much thicker. Because this is the foreground, right at the front over here. Okay, now I'm gonna have a little bit lighter on top of that. Okay, now it's getting there. Now let's continue. Add a little lighter shape over here. There you go. Now the movement changed. Okay, that's good. That's good. Like that. Movement. That's good. Okay. Now change it. This is good. Now I'm gonna continue using this almost the same color for the water in the distance. Okay. The reflection. Now here we go. Now just barely touching the surface. Like that. So if you need to, come back to refill. Okay, use the corner of this brush. That's good. All right, just the corner. Like this. Coming a little bit more to this side. Okay, coming back. Now a little bit less and less, smaller and smaller. Like that. Nice. So I'm gonna have a little bit blue color, a little bit lighter blue color coming over here. Oop, that's too light. Get the little bit darker. It's right next to this color. It's fine. And on this side, less and less orange. So a little bit more and more blue. Okay, that's good. Like this. Okay, now I have maybe a bit too strong, and that's good. I'm gonna have a little bit lighter color coming over here. Show the light side of this wave. Okay, that's good. Like that. Now come back with a little bit deeper color. Right, here you go. A little bit deeper color. Like that. Refine. This is the shadow of this wave. So right at the bottom is a little bit darker. That's good. Perfect. Now I'm gonna have a little bit darker color, also refine the form right here. You see that? There's a little shape over here, like this, and this little bit darker right here, and a little bit darker like that, and here you go, and a little darker color right here. We can show the gap, and here you go. That's good. Okay, here you go. Now reform. Now you see how easy, right? You can like a push and pull, and here you go. Now this is already look good. I'm gonna make this a little bit softer, so I'm gonna just use the brush, clean brush, and coming back over here to soften that. Okay, on this side, it's just a little bit lighter. This showing the side over here. That's good. Like that. Nice. Maybe a little bit slower. That's a little bit too quick. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna have that a little bit darker color like this. That's good. Here we go. That's good. Okay, a little bit shape like that, a little bit darker shape like this. Here you go. Okay, now over here also I have a little bit darker color. Now separate this. That's good. Separate that. Okay, that's good. Okay, nice. A little bit darker. Okay, nice. And a little bit softer there. Okay, now since we already have the background over there, now we can come back to, okay, get a little light, the light, but we need to be a little bit lighter. Okay, I'm gonna clean the brush. Okay, here you go. To see if we can have enough white. Maybe I'm gonna get some fresh white color. Okay, right here. I'm gonna put this white right here, a little bit separate. Okay, here we go. That's good enough for the rest of the painting. Okay, now let's see. Now I'm gonna have the white pink. Now first thing, I'm going to add a little color in here, a little bit lighter. Like that. That's good. Here you go, a little bit light shape. Like that. Here you go. And the little light shape right here. That's good. Like that. Okay. And this little light shape, like moving this way. That's good. And move that a little bit. Movement in this form. That's good. And now let's take a look at a little bit more white. Take a look at, it's just not actually that white. We're gonna see this very important. Just put a little color here first, and moving up like this, a little drive. Can you do that? Ooh, that's very nice. Okay, the top over here also show a little light. That's good. A little bit here, a little bit light. Okay, that's good. A little bit over here, a little light at the top. That's good. Now over here, we also have some light shape on the top over here. Like that. See, the water, the way to push up. Okay, nice. Okay, that's good. That a little bit more sparkling. Yes, here you go, like that. Okay, that's nice. So let's do a little bit more. You guys seen I painted the other rocky coast, right? So I spent quite a bit of attention onto the wave, the tip of the wave. There's a little bit like that. Now the top over here we can make it a little bit softer. So, and you don't need that much paint on the brush. Okay, there you go, like that. Oh, look at that. Look at the wave, push up. Nice, and a little bit light shape over here. Separate the two sides. Now I'm gonna make this a little bit more blue, and that blue actually need to be a little bit fresh. When I have this, just a little bit over here. I want that a little bit more fresh. That's great. And also here, I'm gonna have that. That's good. That's good. Now you can continue build up the form. Okay, that's good. That's good, like that. And take a look at that shadow side over here. Now I'm gonna add a little bit more blue color. Create a beautiful shadow shape. Okay, here you go. Now I'm gonna have this a little bit thicker. If it's not thick enough, you can make a thicker color. Now I'm gonna have this and come and connect over there. Okay, like this. Connect over there. And that's good. It's in the water. Pushed up. Okay, here you go. Like that. That's nice. And that's also give a little bit texture. And like this. That's good. Right? This side also need to have a little bit shadow color. Okay, here you go. There's shadow color. Now get more details, right? With the oil paint, you can go on with this painting for days until you're happy with, because the painting itself, it will keep on wet for at least for another few days. So you can always can wet into wet and keep working on that. The key here is also lots of people have the habit of and have the thicker paint too quickly, too early, and then it would almost like you're walking on the puddle, and then you can't actually move much. So you need to make sure that you start from thin and go thicker and thicker. I'm gonna come back to add the darker paint. Okay, darker paint is the blue and the red color. Now I'll come back over here. You see that? And a little bit. That's good. A little bit more clear. A little bit sharper. That's good. Like that. Okay. That has a nice light see-through. That's good. And I'm gonna coming over here to refine this. This is all contrast. Dark and light, dark and light. Okay. That's good. Okay, here you go. Keep going. I'm gonna see that a little bit darker over here. A little bit darker color over there. So showing a higher contrast for the object at the front. Okay, on the other side over here, I'm gonna have the little bit texture showing that. And this looks a little bit too. I'm gonna have a little bit yellow over here too. Okay, that's good. See a little bit yellow. And I don't mind to apply it a little bit thicker. And have a little bit red. Okay, have a little bit white. Here you go. Here you go, like that. That's good. Have some texture at the front. And the objects right at the front. And a little bit more texture. That's okay. But not everywhere, okay? Just only for the object at the front. That's good. And the front over here, we're gonna have a little bit more white. Okay, let's see. And the top. But let's continue adding some darker contrast before we go into dark over here. And here you go. Get a little bit dark color. Here you go. A little bit dark color over here. That's good. A little bit dark color over here. And a little bit dark color over here. That's good. And a little bit dark color over here. So if you think the way we're thinking, that doesn't matter what medium you're using the same way analyzed the color, the value, the contrast, same idea for the composition. Okay, same idea to think about the movement. Okay, here you go. Have a little bit more red. Okay, here you go. This a little bit darker, a little bit more blue. Like that. A little bit darker. Darker. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. Okay, that's good. This can be a little bit higher, this shape. Okay, that's good. Like that. And a little bit more clear. And there's a little bit muddy. That's good. Like that. And this side a little bit more easier. That's good. And there's lots of interesting thing going on. And I'm going to clean my brush. I'm going to applying some lighter color. So first think about where's the reflection color actually coming on. It need to be lighter. Okay, a lot lighter. Now here you go. And look at here. This need to be lighter. Okay, a lot lighter. And a lot lighter. Okay, right here. See that? That's interesting. Coming over. Okay, a lot lighter. That's good. And have a little bit the same color over here. That's good. There's some nice. And this color coming over. That's good. Okay, let's see. And a lot lighter over here too. Okay, here we go. That's showing. That's the water. That's good. Now, I'm also going to need to have a little bit darker color as the cast shadow. Okay, here you go. Now, right here. Right here. Here you go. Right here. That's good. And I'm going to reform this area. That's good. Like that. And sometimes when you get to a point, you're feeling kind of, I cannot move on anymore. Okay, take a break, have a coffee, and come back. But don't stop. Don't quit. Okay, here you go. Now I'm going to have that. You may not really see all the connections, but if you take a break and be persistent, you can find them. And then you know, oh, what I'm going to do next, because I need that connection to all connect all the things together. Okay, I'm going to have this shape over there. I need to tie all the things together. Okay, here you go. And a little bit light shape. Okay, here you go, like that. I'm going to have a little bit gray color. Here you go. And on here, that's good. And I'm gonna have that little texture filled in over here. And actually I need a little bit darker color. And in here. Now up a little bit. And this dark color. And this dark color. Like that. That's good. And pretty good. You may be thinking about when it's going to be done. Okay, almost. Okay, here we go. Okay, now the rocks, very interesting. Now I need to have some higher light on the rock at the front. So now I'm going to clean the brush. Now I just take the white. Okay, let's see. Just take the white. Those are fresh white. It's very soft. Now take a look. I'm gonna have this connect the shape over here. That's color. See how thick is it? Just get thick and thicker. And I'm gonna have a little bit light. And here you go. And a little bit more light over here. And see this, a little bit lighter shape. And over here have a little bit more light. And here you go, a little bit more light. And seeing the highlight on the top of the rock. Here you go, like this. That's good. And coming down a little bit, cut this off. Okay, that's good. You make sure you have enough dark and light. Okay, here we go. A little bit darker. Okay, now I'm gonna have more white. And the top over here. Have a little bit more white. And this is the anatomy of rocks, is seeing how those things turning. Okay, a little bit more clear. Okay, don't worry, you're gonna get to it. Okay, okay, here you go. You can get it. And here you go. I'm gonna have that little bit blue, light blue color. I'm gonna divide this. And here you go. That's good. And I'm gonna have this connect to over. There you go. That's beautiful. And now I'm gonna have a little bit blue color. And divide this. And here you go. That's good. That's good. And seeing the reflection. Oh, I see a little bit color over here. Interesting. And coming in here. Not just that. And I have a couple line. Like that. Look at the water running over. That's good. And I'm gonna have this thicker. And I'm gonna have a more white. Thicker again. You see how you use the brush. Okay. Okay, here we go. Now, almost forget that rock. I'm gonna have that. Some texture. Okay, a little bit texture. So otherwise, it looks flat. Okay, here you go. Like that. Okay, that's good. There's a little bit gray color in here. Now I come back over here for this rock. And like that. That's good. Now I'm gonna have a little bit lighter. Now I'll come back over here like this. That's good. So don't make it flat. Okay, make sure you keep some color, some dark color. Okay, over here too. like that. Keep the color underneath. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna have some lighter. Let's see, that lighter. Like that. Ooh, beautiful. So make sure then you know which side of the brush is gonna touch the canvas. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's a little bit higher. Okay, there's the bottom over here. Let me come down a little bit. Okay, that's good. And coming down, there's some water coming down over here like that. And coming down, that's good. A little bit blue color. Oh, it's very interesting. Okay, here you go. Okay, a little bit more. And the top of the light coming through over here. And also this little light. Separate that. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to actually have a little bit more blue gray. Okay, a little bit more blue gray color. This. And a little bit more blue. Like this. I'm going to reform this. So make the light shape look lighter. Okay, here you go. That's good. That's good. Like this. Beautiful. And here you go. Like that. When you're closer, have a little bit darker, a little bit blue. Also a little bit darker right here. Okay. So a little bit softer, like that. Okay, have a little bit darker area. Okay. And now let's look at the whole painting as what is missing. I'm gonna have the cloud at the top and a little bit darker. And I need a little bit more contrast for that. I'm gonna take a look at here. And now that's good. And here you go, like this. Okay, here you go. Now I can come back over to refine the cloud. It's very interesting. Okay. Now take a look over here. You don't have to make everything look perfect. Check what you're feeling. If you think you like the way it is and you have a good reason for that, just keep it. Okay. Okay, the cloud over here. The cloud over here. That's good. And that's nice. A little bit softer there. And take a look at the bottom over here. I'm going to have that a little bit darker. Like that. A little bit softer. All the way to left to the right. Okay, make sure that it's a little bit more flat, all the way coming over here, and then turn a little bit warmer. Okay, that's good. Like that. Okay, on this side, you can have a little bit more blue, but that's probably fine. Okay, don't want that too light over there. So this is good. And I'm going to have this a little bit more clear. So you don't have to paint the inside. Just paint the outside. It will be clear. This is good. I'm going to have the bottom over here a little bit more darker. Now appear to be a little bit more clear. Like that. And over here, I'm going to have a little bit softer because the wet into wet. You can make it a little bit softer like that. That's good. Now it's a little bit better. The form better. Now here you go. And that's good. Like that. Now here I can make it a little bit lighter, and so on. Now you have the more and more the way you want it, right? Okay, like that. Okay, anyone has any questions? And it's quiet enough, and I'm gonna have this also, and on the water I'm gonna also make it probably a little bit more of the orange color, carry this color here, so it doesn't really look so much difference in the contrast, like this. Now it's very close to the sky color, right? Okay, like that. And over here on this side, it's alright. I'm gonna have a little bit more red. So it's a little bit too much blue. Okay, on the top over here, I have a little bit red. Okay, even a little bit more brownish color. I'm gonna move this a little bit higher, like that. Also appear to be soft. Okay, it doesn't have to be very sharp. If you make it sharp, the attention going all the high contrast area. Okay, like that. Now the attention is retained to at the front. This is good. Like this. I'm gonna have that. Go a little bit darker color and a little bit over here. That's good. A little bit over here. That's fine. And a little bit over here. Just think about they are just shapes, right? You don't want to think they are wave of the water, and then you're going to ignore what you are looking at, but try to dig into someone else's painting, which is very different from your situation. Okay, a little bit more. Okay. All right. And then my paintings is finished.